Hey there and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to show you a list of some free and cheap things that you can do in Australia's second biggest city, Melbourne. One of the really cool museums you can check out here in Fed Square is called Acme, which stands for the Australian Centre of Moving Image. It celebrates TV, video and gaming and is filled with exhibits and other great stuff to see and do. Some of the exhibitions do cost a fee, but there is a lot here that is free. All right, I've been recommended to check out Gallery 1, which is supposed to be one of the biggest and the best ones here. It gives you a really good overall idea of all the stuff that you can see here at the Acme. One of the things I've just grabbed is this thing here. It's called an Acme lens, and it's such a cool little device. What happens is when you go around the different exhibits, what you do is you hold this lens over one of the readers, and it actually stores the information on a particular piece of artwork or a design, so you can check it out later on when you get home. This one's called a flip book, so we're going to give this a bit of a spin and see how this turns out. Let's record it, right, so we know how to get rid of the move, so right, so it's recording, here we go. Alright, so there you go. There's my little flip book, created just like that. Alright, the thing behind me is a really sick idea. It's called Edit Line, and then what happens is you have these little lines or snippets from some of the most famous movies in history. Jerry Maguire, Taken, you know, even some cartoons, and you get to put it in your own sequence to create your own unique edit line. Alright, let's have some fun with this. Let's see what crazier phrase we can create here.
Believe me when I say I like to eat food dust. My wife. Time machine. Milkshake.
Alright, so what's happening right now is there's a guy who's up in a video and he's explaining the storyboarding of films and movies, and in this movie in particular he's talking about his Shrek. Alright, right now at Acme they are featuring a special exhibition with a lot of the costumes from the movie Thor: Love and Thunder, most of which was filmed in Australia over the last few years, and it came out last year. Some of these costumes are really epic, and being up close to these incredible creations is really something else. Alright, behind me is a Foley studio, and a Foley studio is used on movies and TV shows when they want to get certain sounds or special effects which are added in post-production afterwards. You can come in here and you can touch some of the obstacles and try and make the right effects for the vision that you are seeing on the screen in front of you. Okay, right now behind me we are in the video game area of this gallery, Gallery 1 here at Acme. And here you can actually play all these old school video games or even sort of try out some new, experimental ones. And it's all really super duper interactive, which means people who love touching things and learning from things will definitely get so much out of coming to an awesome gallery like this one here. Alright, a couple of classics right behind me. There's a Simpsons video arcade game and one from Ms. Pac-Man. Ms. Pac-Man, one of the biggest video arcade games of the 80s. Actually, it was bigger than the original Pac-Man game. And I remember seeing it in many fish and chip shops and takeaway joints when I was a kid. I reckon nearly any kid who grew up in Australia in the 80s probably had one of these or had a friend who had one of these, a Viewmaster. Alright, behind me is a vehicle which is a replica of the Interceptor out of the Mad Max movies that were filmed, or the original trilogy was filmed here in Australia between 1979 and 1985. It's an awesome looking replica of one of the films that helped put Australian cinema on the map, and also brought to international stardom a rather unknown dude called Mel Gibson back in the day. But if we just kind of walk around here on the other side a little bit, we can see how this vehicle actually has two distinct halves. The part behind me is a replica of a vehicle that appeared in an Australian series called Bush Mechanics. It was a TV series involving First Nations people in Australia's outback and how they were able to sort of do up and get old cars started even though they had sort of run out of gas and needed repairs. So this is a pretty awesome looking exhibit as well. It's called a memory garden. So what you do, you come to one of these little poles with lights in the middle of the room. You put your hand out, you see images broadcast onto your hand. So in my case, this is Melbourne. Just saw trams. The olden days, look at that. Isn't it cool? Alright, well that place, Acme, the Australian Centre for Moving Image, is pretty amazing. There's so much to see there. You could easily spend a whole day there just wandering around, and the best thing of course is it's free. Now it's time to check out some more awesome and free places here in Melbourne. So right now I'm in the National Gallery of Victoria, the main one, which is here on St Kilda Road in Melbourne. This place is an iconic building in the city, and it has some incredible art from all different eras and all different ages. This is a pretty awesome gallery right here in Melbourne, and at the moment we're fortunate enough to have a fantastic Asian collection that's really worth checking out. Countries like Korea, Japan, India, all those countries and more are represented here. You should definitely check out if you are here or you can make it to Melbourne. Alright, check this out. This is the incredible glass ceiling in the Great Hall here at the National Gallery. Established in 1846, the Royal Botanic Gardens here in Melbourne cover more than 38 hectares, and there are thousands and thousands of beautiful plants and flowers to enjoy. This is a great spot to come and chill out if you're here in the city of Melbourne. It's a beautiful big area where you can just laze about, just watch the day go by, or feed birds, or just kind of wander one of the many paths and trails. I don't know about you, but I was getting a bit sick and tired of those stuffy museums over on St Kilda Road, but I think I've kind of found my groove here. This was formerly called Corporation Lane, but in 2004, this little alleyway just off Flinders Lane was renamed AC/DC Lane in honour of the great Australian rock band AC/DC. In the 1970s, the band filmed one of the most famous songs, It's a Long Way to the Top, only a few streets away here on Swanston Street on the back of a flatbed truck. So the city decided, in honour of how monumental the band is and their worldwide success, to rename this little street here. It's got some great artwork on it, not just AC/DC oriented, also other rock bands here as well. And it's well worth checking out, and it's free. Alright, Melbourne is pretty famous for its street art, or graffiti as some people would call it, and this street here is Hoosier Lane, which is probably one of the most famous locations to find some epic street art here in the city. The State Library of Victoria was established in 1854. In 2018, it had more than 2 million visitors, making it the 4th most visited library in the world. The domed reading room, now known as the Strobe Reading Room, was the largest dome in the world on its completion in 1913. The dome is 34.75 meters in diameter
and 34.75 meters in height. The oculus is nearly 5 meters wide.
Alright, if you're looking for something different in your bar experience, well, Melbourne definitely has it here in spades in this really cool place called Bartronic. It's about 30 different old school and retro video games, from Mario Brothers to GoldenEye to Deadpool's latest pinball creation. There's so much, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. There's so much here to choose from, and it's a great place to check out and sort of maybe relive your childhood and remember all those quarters and all those 20-cent pieces that you spent at the local fish and chip shop trying to get the highest score. Alright, so I found this awesome Ghostbusters machine. I used to love Ghostbusters when I was a kid, so wish me luck and let's see how I go. That's nice. Oh! One there. Well, I definitely didn't get the high score there, but it was still heaps and heaps of fun. One really cool thing about Bartronica is they also have private booths here. So you and your friends can play your favorite game like Mario Kart or GoldenEye in your own little private space. Alright, time to try a little bit of Terminator Salvation right now. The next place we're going to check out today on our big day of exploring free things and inexpensive things to do in Melbourne is the place behind me. It's called the Kono Coin Karaoke Bar. Alright, so once you come inside, there's just a plethora of these little booths, and you can hear some sweet, sweet sounds and some not so sweet, sweet sounds coming out of some of the little booths in here. Only costs $2 a song, or 3 songs for $5. I've got a $2 coin. Let's see what sort of oral damage I can do. Alright, so there's a lot of stuff here in Korean, as you can see, but hopefully, well, there's the microphone and song choice. And thankfully up here on the wall they also have a English guide as well. Alright, so I've navigated the keypad somehow, and here's a song. Oh, need a microphone. Here we go. I know a girl who's tough and sweet. She's got everything I desire. She sets the sun on fire. Here we go. I want candy. I want candy. Oh well, thank God that's over. That was kind of fun. Yeah, so check it out if you want to do something a bit different, and you want to save other people from having their ears bleed when you sing. This is a great place to come. As Australia's second biggest city, Melbourne is big, bad, and can be kind of crazy. But as you can see, you can actually have a great day in the city without spending too much money, and even find lots of great things to do for free. To learn more about some awesome things you can do in Australia, click on this video over here right now. As usual, thanks for your company, and until next time, I'll see you later.